we have taken the backups and we want recovery. Recovery simply means if we are having a table and user is doing something in that table and by mistake some of that table data gets corrupted, then what we can do? We can basically truncate that table data, and from our backup we can again reload the table with the data that we have taken the backup. So two ways are there to do the recovery. So this recovery is basically called importing. Exporting simply means taking the backup. Importing simply means getting that data from that backup and inserting into the tables. Again insert it back to the tables. So this is called importing. Export means going outside, import means coming inside. Like we export some of our products to other countries, so they are going out into that countries, and import simply means we are getting some products from other countries to our country. So export means going out, taking backup. Import means being inserted data into our table from that backup. So here is the first function, first query that we can use: load data local in file, then we will give the file path into table sample. I will show you how this is going to work. So as per our query, what I have done, I have taken the backup of my student new table. So this is my student new table that is having 4 records, and this is my student old table. Let's truncate all the data from this table. I don't have any record in this table right now. Now what I can do, as I'm having backup of my student new table, I can, as structure of student old and student new is same, I can import this student new backup data in my student old table. See how I'm going to do that. I'm doing load data local in file, then path of my backup, that is students underscore backup.txt, that is this file, into table students underscore old. Okay, I have to log into my MySQL server in order to do it. Okay, I have to select the database. If I run it, now you see records 4 inserted, deleted 0, skipped 0, warning 0. So if now you refresh your student O table, you will find all the records that were in your student's new table, and we are having backup of that student new table in student underscore backup, that is now imported to our student's old table. So if I remove student's new table, for example, I'm going to truncate my student new table. now I don't have any record in my student new table. So this might be the case that by mistake or by any kind of crash on your database server, data of your table gets truncated. There is no data is crashed and table is empty. Now this is the worst situation. If you are having an application that is having a table that is containing the user information, user login information, and by any kind of crash, that particular table gets deleted or gets truncated, there is no data, it becomes empty, then it will be the worst situation for your application. In that case, user or people will shout on you that we have made our login, we are having our information on the site, now we are not able to log in. Now if you don't have backup of that particular table, you will be in a worse situation. After that, nobody will be relying on your website, nobody is going to use your website. So it is always advisable to take the backups of your database server, database tables on a particular interval. So luckily I'm having backup of this table, and now I'm going to import into my student new table. And if I import it, you can see I got my data back. So it was a good point that I took the backup of my table, and if by any kind of crash my table got deleted, table data got deleted, from the backup I can import it. So I'm importing it using local data, load data, local in file, then path into table name. So this is the way to import data into a table from the data backup. If I try to do it here, I think you will not be able to do it. You will get some query error. In MySQL server, you cannot run MySQL dump queries. So you should not be logged into MySQL server if you want to take the backup of or dump of some database or table. MySQL dump, this particular function cannot be used while logged into MySQL server. So in this case we are logged into MySQL server, so you will not be able to run. So in order to run all these kind of queries, it is always preferable to use command prompt, because these things are backup, taking the backup of the tables or taking the backup of the databases. All these kind of concepts are basically done by the administrator, and administrator basically works on Linux or command prompt. So it is always advisable to use command prompt. Now from SQL Yog itself, you can backup your database. Like if we click on database name, here you can see backup export. You can take the backup database as SQL dump. Here you will give the path, and you will give either you can take the export or backup of structure only, you want the backup of data only, or you want the backup of structure and data both. And when you will press export, it will take the export. It will export the same way as we have done for the database, like this. So we are having in a tool, we are having interface to do that. We don't have to write down the queries here like MySQL dump and all. You don't have to write down queries. If you are using a tool, you can simply get the options. If you are using MySQL bench or SQL Yog, you will get this backup database as SQL dump. See, directly you will get the option. You don't have to write down queries. Other operations you can do, you can drop your database, you can truncate your database, you can empty your database, backup, you can schedule your backups, you can import, like import external data. Here I have to select the SQL file, or I have to select SQL file, or I have to start a new job, a new file. So this way you can export. Here you will pass, it will be a CSV file, or it's a XS file, or it's a Excel file, and this way you can do the import thing. So in a tool we normally get options to do that, but if we are having only command prompt, if we are administrator and we are having only command prompt, so it is always advisable to use a command prompt in that case. Is it fine, Varsif? I think this solves your question. Okay, fine. So this was one way to take import thing. So here they are creating import into their using load data. Now this was import using if we are having our backup in a text file. Now if it's a CSV file, how we will do the thing? If it is a CSV file and we try to import it, see what happens. This is my student new table, and what I do, I truncate my table. Now if I try to give here the file that is in CSV, not as a text file. For example, we have taken the backup as CSV file, and by mistake or accidentally we try to import into database. See now what happens. It will be imported, but wrong values. Means see here ID is 0, and means there will be some unexpected thing will happen. So if we are having a CSV, then we should export, we should import same way as we created the CSV. So here you can see load data local in file, then path of CSV into table students underscore new, so before that let's truncate it again. Now my students new is empty. So I am doing load data local in file, then path of my CSV file from which I want to take the backup into table students new, then fields terminated by comma, enclosed by quotes, and lines terminated by new line character, that is \r\n. The same way we created backup. If you remember, we have created the backup like this for CSV files. If we go back to our slides, here you can see I'm creating CSV format. Select star from student into out file, then I'm giving my CSV file name, terminated by comma, enclosed by quotes, lines terminated by blue line character. So if it's a CSV file, I have created a CSV file backup, then it should be imported in the same way as I have exported it. So if I run this query and I see my database, here you can see I'm getting all the data, because this file was a CSV export file and it should be imported in the same manner. It should not end with the table name only. We should give fields terminated by comma, enclosed by quotes, and line terminated by new line character. Then it will take the exact values as we are having in the CSV. As this is a CSV where values are enclosed in quotes, separated by comma, and after each quote we are having a new line character. Means importing a text file and importing a CSV file. Both things we have seen. Here this is simply a theory which is telling us that how we can handle the special characters like appending the backslash. I've already told you in last class, enclosed by, using enclosed by, using the quotes. So this is the basic theory that we have done already.